It is a startling picture. A loyal follower of the terrorist group ISIS walking on a deserted street in Syria. But it is the new reality Iraq and Syria face. The group released a new audio recording claiming a religious superstate or caliphate from Syria to Iraq and proclaiming their leader as the next Mohammed. And they're demanding that Muslims around the world follow their rule. In the meantime, the United States is sending 300 more troops to Iraq to help push back on this fast-moving ISIS surge. So let's talk about this. Arsalan Iftikhar is the senior editor of the Islamic Monthly and founder of the MuslimGuide.com. Welcome.
Good morning, Carol. Always good to be with you.
Oh, always good to have you here. So when you hear that the leader of a terrorist group like ISIS is saying he's the next Mohammed, what goes through your mind?
Well, a few things, Carol. First of all, he's not saying that he's the next Muhammad. He's saying that he is the next caliph. And in Arabic, the word khalifa means a successor. And basically what the caliphate historically has been the Islamic society after the successive generations of the Prophet. Now, the problem becomes that, out of the 196 countries on the face of the earth right now, there are 57 of them that are Muslim majority nations that would consider themselves to be quote-unquote Islamic nations, but none would have the audacity to call themselves a caliphate or a successor to the Prophet. And so I think that this is a strategic blunder on the part of ISIS. They are now going to have 57 different mortal enemies in the Muslim world, both Sunni and Shia. And I think that this might be the worst political play that ISIS has performed to date.
Well, the Sunnis, some of them, seem to be on ISIS's side within Iraq, right? So you're saying that this might turn the tide?
Yeah, obviously when over 1.2 billion Muslims worldwide listen to ISIS claiming to be the caliphate, we just kind of laugh like, okay, yeah, right. Obviously they are using very brutal methods, beheadings, executions in the northwest of Iraq and the northeast of Syria for people who don't follow them. And so essentially, they're not trying to be a democratic political superstate. They're essentially trying to just be worse than Al-Qaeda. And you know that things are really bad, Carol, when even Al-Qaeda themselves and Ayman al-Zawahiri, distance themselves from ISIS, saying, hey, listen, these guys are a little too cray-cray even for us.
Still, they've made enormous inroads into Iraq and in Syria. So how do you explain that? These are really, they crucify people.
They do, and it's horrifying. And, as Muslims, it is absolutely, we absolutely condemn that. That brutality. We found that they've been able to essentially bank rob and steal $400 million from Iraqi banks near Mosul. What's going to be interesting is to see how other aspects of the Free Syrian Army that are more moderate in fighting Bashar al-Assad in Syria tackle ISIS as ISIS tries to expand its scope into Syria, closer to Aleppo and more into Damascus. But again, I think it's going to be a regional issue. I think Iran is going to be a big player because of the fact that ISIS is primarily targeting Shia shrines in Iraq, because Iraq is a Shia majority nation. I think Iran, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the United States, other Western nations are going to try and play a big role in trying to neutralize ISIS in the Levant, both in Syria and in Iraq.
We'll see. Arsalan Iftikhar, thanks so much for your insight. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Carol.